Welcome back. We are joined this evening by Ms. Rhonda Tillett, Consumer Protection and Liaison Officer at the Bureau of Standards, talking to us about the role of the Bureau of Standards. So first, I want to talk about what affects all consumers, price-controlled goods. Ms. Rhonda, can you please explain to us what the Supplies Control Act, Chapter 293 is?
That's another one of those misconceptions that we have to clear up. So the Supplies Control Unit was formerly a part of the Bureau of Standards. That unit is no longer a part of the Bureau of Standards. Therefore, when it comes to price control and price regulated goods, that is administered by the Supplies Control Unit, which now falls as a unit under the Ministry of Agriculture, Food and Enterprise.
So how can consumers be protected if any violation of price gouging, and what is the consumer's right?
So consumers have the right to be informed. Consumers have the right to redress. Consumers have the right to health and safety. Consumers have not just rights, but responsibilities as well. So in addition to the rights that consumers have, you also have responsibilities. For example, walking into a store, and we were previously talking about labeling, you have the right to be informed. So those products that are labeled, the reason why the standards specify certain information, for example, the company that made the product, the quantity of the product, the name of the product, the ingredients of the product, the date the product was made, as well as the date the product is expected to either be expired, quote unquote, expired, or be close to expiration. That is your right as a consumer to have that information presented to you. And your responsibility as a consumer is to walk in, read your products, and use the information to make an informed decision.
Thank you so much, Ms. Rhonda. It seems as though the Bureau has a lot of responsibility, and you have been able to clear up many misconceptions, but are there any other misconceptions about your office that the public should be aware of?
Expiration of products. So another misconception that a lot of people, consumers, have is that as the consumer protection arm of the government, that we as a department have that right to walk into a store and to pull those goods off the shelf if they're expired. That mandate does not fall under our department. It does fall under the public health department. Therefore, with the consumer protection hotline that was established back in 2008, the purpose of that is so that we could field those complaints and concerns that the consumers have, and we then feed that into the necessary department or ministry or organization that is specifically responsible for those aspects.
Thank you. So it is safe to assume that the Bureau has a good relationship with the health department, or they are collaborating to make sure that the goods and products are safe for all.
Yes, that is correct.
Well, Ms. Rhonda, is there anything you want us to know or the audience to know about the Bureau? Any good news or updates that you would like to share?
So let me talk a little bit about the metrology arm of the Belize Bureau of Standards. So metrology is the science of measurement, and as such, the Belize Bureau of Standards has an industrial metrology unit, which is specifically responsible for the calibration of volume, mass, temperature, and pressure. Currently, the calibration services that we are providing to our producers and our local manufacturers is for volume, for scales, and for mass. And on the other hand, the metrology unit is also responsible for the legal aspect of metrology. This is where our officers go out with weights or a volumetric prover, which is an instrument that is used to measure how much fuel is dispensed at the market, and the weights we use to determine whether or not the scales, whether it's an industrial scale or it's a commercial scale, whether or not they're measuring accurately. And we also take packages from like the stores and make sure that whatever is on the shelf, for example, a 5-pound bag of flour, that it's actually 5 pounds.
Well, thank you so much, Ms. Rhonda, for for enlightening us on the Metrology Act and the system. Thank you as well for being with us today, and you shared so much valuable information, which I'm sure our viewers will appreciate. We hope to see you again on our show.
Thank you for having us.
We'll be right back with more Legacy Markets.